Sometimes the wives get better paying jobs from the beginning. And then
you're about to shake a table that already has 3 legs. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's a girl Marina here, and I am so excited to have you back. If it's your first time here, you're welcome. My name is Marina. I make videos from Saskatoon, Canada, where I share about life issues and my experiences, or our experiences as Nigerian immigrants in Canada. This is not typical that I have a guest, but if you're an OG on this channel, you'll be very familiar with this face. As you can see today, the husband has decided to grace us with his presence again. Okay. Well, welcome guys. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, this is a good time to hit the red subscribe button and turn on the notification so that you know every time we post new content, or I post new content. I'm trying to be we now, that's why everything is now we, and it's confusing my intro. Anyway guys, so today, in the spirit of Father's Day, I have decided to bring the husband back on the channel to where we're going to be sharing some things that border around fatherhood. But we just want to use this opportunity first to wish all the fathers out there a very happy Father's Day. It's Father's Day today, and it's only acceptable and proper for us to acknowledge the fathers who are working, breaking their backs to do things the right way. So we celebrate you today. Thank you for all your hard work. Happy Father's Day to you all. Okay, yeah, on behalf of anyway, so today I'm going to be asking my husband. His name is Fred. You want to say something before we go ahead?
I'm going to be speaking a lot, but yeah, my name is Fred, Marina's boyfriend.
Okay,
so I think that's a good place to start.
Okay, so yeah, this is Fred, my husband. I'm going to be asking him questions on fatherhood. So I'm just going to be asking him questions that relate to what fatherhood was like back in Nigeria, what it's like now, and what the journey has been like right from the beginning, and especially what it has been like here as an immigrant in a different environment, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so first question, would you want to just give like a general overview what it was like being a father in Nigeria and what it has been like here? Like, would you say there's a difference between being a dad in Nigeria and what it has been like being a father here?
Yeah, absolutely. Being a father back home in Nigeria, it was more of you provide, you just bring the money in, and everything else just falls into place. I mean, that's the mentality. Of course, the crazy hours as well, working and all that stuff. But here, it's absolutely different. Like, you have to be hands-on. You can't lose sight of the responsibility of being a father. It's not just being a provider. I understand the cultural environment also dictates that you provide, but it's more so providing here and being hands-on as what a father is. So I would say that's been the biggest difference from back home and here.
Okay, so just to take you back a bit, would you say the fact that you got away, for lack of a better language, you got away with just being a provider in Nigeria, do you think the fact that there was more help available, would you say that contributed to how much you could get away?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a major part, the fact that you always had someone at home who could help, right? And that's not taken away, and please don't get me wrong, when I say provider, it doesn't mean I was a sole provider. My wife was an absolutely solid rock behind me. But the fact that there was...
Beside you, you mean?
Did I say behind me?
Yeah.
Beside me, I'm sorry. So I think that was a major factor there, the fact that, yeah, you could almost seem like get away with certain things, come back home at, crazy hours of the night because you had to work, and then dinner was ready, kids were in bed, that's all you did. I wouldn't say that I played fathering in a different way back home in Nigeria, because we had help and all those things available.
The dynamics were different.
Very different. And it's also a cultural thing too, where a family helps out to raise. You have to talk about raising a kid. The whole village takes and so that's what it was.
So yeah, just to add to what he has said, like the hours you had to work in Nigeria were very different. The way work is in Nigeria is very different. You're expected to like bend your back backwards, and more than half the time it is at the expense of your family. So if you know anybody who had typical regular banking job in Nigeria, you can attest to that. Anyway, so what would you come in here and realizing that the culture is different, the environment is different, you don't have to work like that anymore? right? What would you now say the adjustments were that you had to make to make up or be a more present father since you got here?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you have to understand, it's not just a cultural shock for you as a parent, but it's also more so for your kids as well. We had to sit down and realize that we couldn't do the same things we did back home. There had to be more hands-on. There's just so much a mom can play. Father needs to step in, especially in the environment where our kids don't understand why certain things are done certain ways and otherwise. So I think that was one of the biggest things, learning points for me, that I had to, get down off my high horse and find out exactly what my kids want, not just providing, but understanding the day-to-day things that they want. So that's been the biggest thing that I had to start doing. An example would be, watching something with them. Typically you would say, oh yeah, you can go watch TV back home in Nigeria or something, but here you have to actually watch what they are watching. You have to
even know what they're watching.
Exactly.
To be sure it's appropriate and things like that.
So right now we have rules where you can't watch a certain thing until you come ask us.
Until mommy and daddy vet it.
So that's just, there's so many examples, but that's just one that comes top of mind now.
So what would you say you're doing now that you didn't used to do in Nigeria, especially as a father, around the house with the children? Like, can you give practical examples of things that you say you're doing now you didn't used to do?
Yeah.
If you lie, I will so cast you. Just
yeah, for sure. I can count the number of times I had to beat my kids back home in Nigeria. That's
which is,
I'm not saying that because it's not something like a father should do. It's something a father should do, but just because of
help was available,
help
and
was
it was not
available,
necessary.
you didn't have to do all that stuff. But right now, yes, it is something that I had to learn. It wasn't easy. You have to get into being patient with them when you want them to bathe. You're playing and you're like, look, I have things to do. But again, I had to realize that those are fond memories. I remember something my wife said. She said, when you bathe those kids, the little jokes here, the little jokes there, those are the things they actually remember 10 years from now. So I had to start putting in the investment of time. My wife would say it's not the quantity of time you have, but the quality of time you spend.
Sure.
So, washing dishes. I love washing dishes. Sometimes we'll trade, you bathe the kids, I'll do the dishes and stuff. So those are some of the things that, and I'm enjoying it. To be honest, when I started to do them, it wasn't fun. But now, you see the excitement that my kids now see when daddy's doing something with them, so it's awesome. You
have forgotten to mention all the famous breakfast that you make and the children refer. Let me tell you one experience that I remember that made me realize that something had changed. So guys, like what he said, the adjustment in the beginning wasn't as seamless. It was a lot of fighting. There were times where we would fight about it. When something you have gotten away with something for so long, you suddenly don't see the need to make any adjustments. So he had gotten away with not doing these things. Not get away because it was intentional. It was just not necessary for him to do those things because there was help available, like we would have mentioned several times. So it was a lot of fighting. It was not overnight. It took there was a lot of friction here and there until we found a system that works for our family. So there was one Saturday morning, I can't forget. I was in the kitchen and my daughter came down and said, "Mommy, are you cooking?" I said, no. She now said, "Good. Let daddy cook. Mommy is always cooking. Like, I want daddy to make us breakfast." And I'm like, okay. And I called you. I said, "Hey, come and hear this." When my daughter said that, for me, it was an indication that, okay, are we selling the same stereotype to our children? Do we want them to see something different? Like, would it be nice for our children to see daddy cook, just so that when I'm telling my son go and cook, he's not going to say, "Why am I cooking? Daddy doesn't cook," right? So we saw that we had to be intentional about selling that picture that it is okay for daddy to cook. And I didn't have to talk too much, guys. That part, I'm going to give it up to you. You stepped up like I didn't have to fight. But now I feel like he now even does, when it comes to breakfast especially, he does a lot more than I do. When I remember that and I look at what it is now, it just gives me the picture that, okay, we've really come a long way. There are lots of things we're not fighting about anymore that are now just very seamless. So yeah, that one, I'll say I give it to you. Would you what?
But the funny thing is, there was one day you wanted to go do breakfast and Jeremy was like, "No, daddy does breakfast."
Yeah, now that's what it has been, right? It's so sweet. Like, I feel like I've come from one extreme to another extreme.
You're setting me up.
It was almost like, okay, daddy never does breakfast. Now is daddy always does breakfast, which is a relief for me. I don't mind. If somebody can be serving me breakfast every day, I no complain. So a bit about what the benefits of that adjustment has been. Do you want to talk a little more about that? Like looking back at what it was before and what it is now.
Yeah.
Would you say you see any benefits of stepping up to those roles and those responsibilities?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you bond with your kids. Now I can confidently say that I know what my son is capable of doing, and I know what my daughter is capable of doing.
I can't say that.
Your mom would say that Daphne is just trying to get you to do stuff. I'm like, no, that's impossible. Right now, I know those kids, right? I know the temperament, and that's especially good, because when you look at 10 years from now, you want to be able to say, you know what? I know my kids. I know where their strengths are. You can help them, because that's always a problem when as parents, where your kids are growing up and you want to guide them into what they're doing in their lives. If you never really took out time to know who they are from when they were little, when they didn't know themselves, it's always hard to guide them. So that's one of them. So many other wonderful benefits, but that's one top of mind now. I
like what you just said, when you say if you don't really spend time, you don't really know them. You know what I found happened with us in our generation was our parents didn't really know us. So they tried to live their dreams through us. They tried to impose the things they couldn't do. They wanted us to continue from where they stopped, and our own strengths and preferences, it wasn't put into consideration. We had to live our parents' dream. That's why a lot of us went to university, went to go and do degrees that we didn't do anything with, So it's important that we're getting to that point where you're present enough, we're present enough to understand the strengths of our children, so that we're harnessing their own strengths, not trying to relive our lives through them. That's an amazing point you raised there.
Absolutely. I think one of the things I want to say as we're rounding up is, for my brothers coming from, especially from Nigeria, culturally the man is the one who's projected to be,
his only job is to provide.
Right? When you're coming into this society, you drop the ego at the foot of the plane when you step down. There's no ego here. I had to do that too. There's some things, you have to step back. And one of the things that comes to mind is, to be honest, guys, sometimes the wives get better paying jobs from the beginning. And then
you're about to shake a table that already has 3 legs.
And you're stuck with that thing, like, what? So I think you have to work with your wife here. You can imagine the power that two can accomplish if they work together. Don't forget, you come in here in your 30s and your 40s, you have maybe about 20-25 years to work, and then that's it. So the more you support your wife and your spouse to catch up the pace to an environment that you find yourself, the better. That's what I would say in terms of marriage. For the man too, I would say just don't think about work. Look for things to do for fun. I know that when you get into that groove trying to resolve, you want to do, but balance everything out as best as you can.
Yeah, nice. That's very nice. Major reason why I'm doing this is, I've talked about this on this channel before, that most of the experiences I have shared are experiences from my point of view as a Nigerian woman who moved from Nigeria straight here. I see that there are a number of men who are subscribed to this channel, and there might be some things I've been saying that you're not able to relate with, because the point of view is different. When it comes to things like roles and responsibilities, you might not be able to readily relate, but if you hear the adjustments that a man had to make, it might make more sense, right? That's the reason why I'm doing this. And we're going to have more conversations that Fred is going to join in, because this now, he's talking only about fatherhood because of the spirit of the day, Father's Day. We're going to have conversations where we'll talk about this more broadly from the angle of work, from the angle of work-life balance. We'll talk about it from the angle of marriage as well. We're going there. Okay? I'm saying it in public, you cannot hide. We are going there. Yes. Okay. Anyway, guys, I hope that you have had a good time watching today's video. I hope you learned something from this. To all my male subscribers, I hope that you're able to pick something from this. And if you have specific questions, if there are areas where you want Fred to speak a lot more about, hopefully within the confines of fatherhood, because that's what we're talking about today. Please leave those comments in the comment section below. If you have more private questions and you would prefer to send a private message instead of putting it in the comment section, my email address is in the description box. You can send me an email with your questions and we will be glad to respond to it. I like the way your eye turns when I say we. Anyway guys, we've had an amazing time just filming this, and we hope that you learned a thing or two from it. You want to say something before we have?
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to be on this channel again.
Thank you for not saying no. Yes.
Yeah, so it's always exciting to be on your channel. You know, thank you guys for all you do for Marina. And maybe we'll film a video of the back scenes, all the effort you put.
This is not the first time you're saying this thing. I feel like now when I'm filming, I have to be checking across my back before I go and see myself shouting on Insta blog. Anyway guys, we've had fun today, and like I said in the beginning, to all the fathers out there, to all the fathers in waiting, to all the fathers in making, we want to wish you a happy Father's Day. Thank you for all that you do. We know that yes, there are a lot of bad notions, bad impressions out there, but we want to let you know that we appreciate those of you who are putting in the effort to play your part and to be present parents. So thank you for all that you do. Happy Father's Day to all of you. Until I come your way in my next video, it's your girl Marina saying thank you and have an amazing day. Bye bye.